When you hear the words The Big Bang Theory, you probably think of Sheldon's quirky genius, Leonard and Penny's on-again, off-again love, Howard and his turtlenecks, Amy's warmth, Bernadette's fierceness, and of course Raj, played to perfection by Kunal Nayyar. For many of us, the show wasn't just a sitcom. It was a cozy, comforting universe we visited week after week, laughing at awkwardness, celebrating breakthroughs, and rooting for our nerdy friends to make it. So naturally, whenever talk of a revival or reboot surfaces, fans everywhere sit up and take notice. But Kunal Nayyar recently shared his take on why a Big Bang Theory revival isn't happening, at least not now, and honestly, he makes a very good case. And yeah, I totally agree with him. The heart of the matter, it's just too soon. One of Nayyar's main arguments is simple but powerful. The timing is off. As he put it, look, we only ended in 2019. That's barely 6 years ago. In TV terms, that's practically yesterday. He even jokes, I'm not sure you're legally allowed to have a reunion. What? 6 years after the show ends? He makes a compelling observation. Though the final episode aired, the show has never really left us. It's still on screens daily thanks to reruns and streaming platforms. Even though the show ended in 2019, it's still on every single day. So it feels like even though the show is over, it's still on. That continuity in our lives makes a revival feel a little forced, not like a fresh, new chapter, but more like the same season being stretched out. A reunion revival. Nayyar draws a critical distinction between a reunion and a revival. He argues that what some fans call a revival is really just another season. That's an important point. A reunion might be a single special episode, maybe with cast members reminiscing, sharing bloopers or memories. But a revival, a full-blown return, requires narrative purpose, character arcs, fresh conflict, and ideally growth. If you bring the gang back too early, you risk diminishing the finality and impact of where they left off. In his words, that's not a reunion show. That's just another season. He's not dismissing the idea outright. He even says he'd be game to spend more time with people who are my family. But he's clear, time has to pass, things have to mature, both for the characters and perhaps for us, the fans. The definitive ending. Another layer to his reasoning is about what the Big Bang Theory finale represented. For many of the characters, their arcs were satisfying and complete. Sheldon won the Nobel Prize. Major relationships found closure. The story, for the most part, wrapped up. Nayyar thinks that a premature reboot could undercut that. As others have pointed out, the ending was pretty definitive. When a show has a meaningful conclusion, revisiting it too soon can feel like cheapening what came before. It's not just about nostalgia, it's about respecting the creative journey that ended well. Wait, I totally agree with him. Now, why do I side with Kunal Nayyar's perspective? Let me break down a few reasons. One, emotional resonance matters. The magic of Big Bang Theory wasn't only in the jokes, it was in the character growth. Raj's awkwardness, his quest for love, the friendships he built, these weren't just punchlines. They meant something. If you revive too soon, that resonance risks turning into a shadow of itself. The emotional weight of, say, Raj's journey from loneliness to finding belonging might not hit the same if we jump back and while it still feels fresh in our minds. 2. Quality over quick cash. Revivals are often fueled by nostalgia and, let's be real, the potential for easy money. But Nayyar's take suggests he cares about doing it right, not just doing it fast. He isn't keen on a throwaway series just for profit. Waiting could give writers and creators the space to craft something meaningful, not just to retread. 3. Legacy preservation. When a show is as iconic as Big Bang, you don't want to mess with its legacy. A rushed or ill-conceived revival could tarnish how people remember it. Nayyar seems to understand that. His concern isn't just about returning, it's about how they return. Doing it well means honoring what made the original great. 4. Natural evolution. Real life moves forward, and so should stories. 6 years might not feel like much to us, but in narrative terms, it's a seed, not a full tree. If a revival were to happen later, maybe after a decade or more, the characters could evolve in new, organic ways. Raj could be a very different person, more settled, more self-assured, or maybe grappling with a new phase of life. That kind of growth could be much more compelling than restarting things from where they left off. 5. Fan satisfaction without overkill. There's a fine line between giving fans what they want and oversaturating a beloved concept. Right now, a reunion or a limited special might be more satisfying, enough to soothe the nostalgia without risking franchise fatigue. And if done right, it could work as a thoughtful tribute rather than a shameless reboot. But what about a spin-off? It's worth noting that Nayyar hasn't completely closed the door on something. He's commented on a possible spin-off, especially focused on Raj, but he says even that feels a little too soon. He admits he hasn't heard concrete details about the rumored Max spin-off. His approach is cautious but hopeful. If the spin-off were to happen, we'll see what the universe says. That humility is refreshing. Instead of chasing revival hype, he's letting things unfold organically. The bigger picture, why his viewpoint resonates with fans. Nayyar's stance hits a chord for a lot of reasons beyond just Big Bang Theory. Respect for storytelling. He's not seeing a revival purely as a business move. He cares about how stories finish. In a media landscape addicted to reboots that shows a genuine creative integrity, understanding of fan emotion. He acknowledges that fans miss the show, that the cast is like a family, but he's also recognizing that nostalgia isn't the same as art. Realism. He's not pretending a revival is off the table forever, he's just saying, let's wait until the timing is right. And as a fan, that gives me hope. If we ever return to Pasadena or wherever the gang ends up, I'd rather it feel earned than engineered, a thought experiment. What could a revival done right look like? Because I agree with Nayyar, I also like to imagine, if the Big Bang Theory were revived in, say, 10 years, what could that look like? Raj in a new chapter. He could be back, maybe working in a research facility, maybe teaching, maybe exploring relationships. He'd be older, wiser, but still that lovable Raj, navigating not just science but life. Sheldon and Amy or Leonard and Penny. Their kids could be teenagers. The dynamics would shift, roles would reverse. The show could explore how their friendship evolves post-career peak. New generation meets old guard. Introduce fresh young scientists, students or interns who look up to the original gang. They'd bring new perspectives, new jokes, and new stakes, but the original members would still be there, guiding, mentoring, and being themselves. Heart still at the core. The sitcom wouldn't just lean on its legacy. It would find new emotional ground, parenting, mentorship, legacy, change, while still delivering laughs. If that kind of revival were done, I'd be all for it. But right now, I'm content waiting. Nayyar's position, not no, but not yet, feels wise, respectful, and artistically honest. Final thought. Kunal Nayyar's reasons for why a Big Bang Theory revival isn't happening yet are not just logical, they're deeply thoughtful. He's balancing nostalgia with realism, fan desire with creative integrity, and business talk with emotional truth. He gets that Big Bang was more than a show, it is a family. And he seems to believe, as I do, that any return should honor that legacy, not cheapen it. So yeah, I totally agree with him. Until then, I'll keep watching reruns, cherishing the original 12 seasons, and hoping that if the universe does conspire to bring them back, they'll do it in a way that feels as meaningful, funny, and heartfelt as the first time around. If you like, I can also write a version geared toward a blog post more informal, or for a YouTube script. Do you want me to do that? Heartfelt as the first time around. If you like, I can also write a version geared toward a blog post